Making a video of my garage door timer to close circuit. I'm very excited about this, like very excited. Not just because of the functionality of what it's doing, but because of my firmware prowess is growing and it feels nice to be using libraries that I created. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to home. It's still very crude. I mean, I still got a ways to go, but it's really getting there now, and it feels really good. First things first, man, did I really need that 10 microfarad capacitor here on the power lines. Also, wouldn't hurt to actually give this a proper 3.3 volt step down regulator instead of just using whatever's built into the Nano board. But this thing is so cool. First off, there's a hardware rotary encoder PCB that I developed that I was, with the help of my friend, taught me how to use KiCad, and that was one of my first KiCad projects. And so this actually has all the debounce circuitry in hardware as well as debounce in software, which makes for a sexy, very responsive rotary encoder. And I wrote some firmware, which I'm proud of, for doing menu selections using this rotary encoder, which is really satisfying. And I added a little bit of a delay there because this functions on an interrupt, which means it can like get screwy in the code sometimes and not stay within the constraints of the 5 menus that I have here. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see I can just rotate through those. When it gets on 0, it lets me know that the garage door is closed or not. And that's pretty basic. It's just a menu test. But now for the fun stuff. So these are actually 2 Arduino Nanos that are communicating wirelessly through an NRF24L01 module, which is a Bluetooth module. It's its own microcontroller. It's crazy. It's like $1 too. It's nuts. But what's super cool is that I've got the first one hooked up to a bunch of Hall effect sensors, and as well as some timers. But first, just want to show what happens when I cross the Hall effect with this magnet. The green LED comes on, and it's kind of cool. Now, what should happen, although maybe it won't happen, we'll see. I'm going to go to, okay. So I can't actually view it yet because the closed is on the other screen. But when it's functioning the way that it's intended, this will actually show up as closed when I pass the magnet over. I'll do another video of that later. What's really cool about this, though, is what I can do right now is write... I'm converting and writing time, like different time variables to this thing wirelessly and reading them back, too. It's freaking cool. So, like, for example, how long do I want the garage door to stay open before it closes automatically? And so you'll see with the rotary encoder, I can select seconds here. And the taps and the seconds are really the same. And it nicely cycles, you know, from 60 to 0, and then increments or decrements the minutes accordingly. Also, if you want like a little shortcut, you can double tap and get an extra minute, which is kind of nice. And so, yeah, pretty basic. But here's the cool thing. So that time signature there is converted into millis, which the microcontroller understands a lot better, through what's called an unsigned long variable, which is what that big number is down there. And so that's a really easy way to do calculations in time within the firmware. Here's the cool part again, though. If I hold this down, you'll see it'll see write active, and you'll see above here it says previous door open. So that's the time that's stored on this Arduino that's actually going to be in the garage to say, well, what's saved on here? It'll eventually be saved in EEPROM when I finish that code. So what's saved? What's the timer that's saved right now? Well, right now, actually, it's just at 0. It's not going to help much. But what I can do is set it with this remote, when this is a remote, basically, with the display. I can set it to whatever time I want, and if I hold down the, oh, is there a communication bug? There is indeed. Okay, wait, hold up. That's what was going on before, I think. So yeah, that should blink. That's the activity light that blinks. And I knocked this with my hand. But when that's blinking, it's sending and receiving data. And so now, now it'll say closed when I pass my magnet over it. Both LEDs light up, and it's wirelessly communicating that the garage door is closed. So now when I click this, you'll see I can set the time at whatever I want. And right now it's saved as some crazy high number. But if I, let's say, go really, I want the garage door to close only after, I don't know. Is that 1 second? Yeah, only after 1 second. Then what I'll do is I'll hold this down, and bam, you see the number above changed. So cool. So what that means is that this Arduino told that Arduino to change your value to a different time value, and then this Arduino sent it back to this one, which then read it out to my display. Did all of that, of course, in the fraction of a second. So cool, man. So these are jumping between each other, communicating, and it's a beautiful thing. And not only that, it doesn't seem to mind the interrupts from the rotary encoder, which is really cool, or the display doesn't seem to slow it down much either. It's really impressive tech for super shoestring budget that I got going on here. And yeah, I can switch between menus, and eventually one of these, like this home menu, will have all the different sensors. I'm still deciding on how I'm going to do the visual of it, but I think it's going to be pretty cool when I'm done. Yay!